This video was supposed to be me talking about Holy Grail pickup, which it is. It's discussed, but it's also kind of a, I don't know if it's a channel update or what it is. All right, but here it is. What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide here with a Holy Grail. All right, every once in a while you come across something you've been looking for fucking years, and you don't hesitate, you don't wait, you just snap the motherfucker up. Because it happened to me before. You know, I go into a thrift store and boom, I find a copy of John Woo's The Killer sealed for $1 at a fucking thrift store. I like lost my mind, right? And like I thought that was probably going to be one of the best scores ever. Even like more, like one of the best scores I probably ever got was that signed Frank Miller book for $5 at this place called Yardigans. I remember one time they got in a huge comic collection, fucking huge. They had multiple copies of Howard the Duck #1. That's where I got my Howard the Duck #1, I believe, and a bunch of other stuff. And the guy was just like, "Oh, just give me $5 for that stack of books you got," because there was literally fucking thousands. Like there was crazy shit that I was like, at the time I was like, I don't give a fuck about that. I want to get, you know, like this kind of weird alternative stuff. And you know, I probably could have bought a fucking car with some of the shit that they had in those boxes. The Elektra Bill Sienkiewicz stuff was in there, like all of it, like multiple copies of it. And I was just like, and now I'm like, you know, kicking myself in the ass. But this is a Holy Grail of mine. It's ZAP Comics #0. All right, and this means a lot to me because I specifically remember my dad taking me into this bookstore years ago. It was called Kohl's. I think there's still some kicking around. It's like a chain bookstore that you might find in like a mall. But he took me in there one time, as he would often, and he bought me the Robert Crumb handbook, which I still have today. I've read it multiple times. When I was a kid, it was like my Bible. Like it was, I thought I was like a part of this special club because I knew about Robert Crumb. And my teacher at the time, he like knew who Robert Crumb was, and he was like, I think the last thing I heard about him was he went to France. And I was just, and this is before I seen like Crumb and any of that kind of stuff. And you know, it was like my first experience to Robert Crumb, other than Fritz the Cat. Fritz the Cat was my true first experience, but you know, as it goes, Robert Crumb kind of distanced himself from that film. I don't know if he kind of looks at it as like, you know, look what they've done to my boy. They massacred my boy. Like fucking Godfather type shit. But regardless, that was my introduction to Robert Crumb. So it was important to me. Like I'm telling you, like when you look at like my Filthy Ralph comic and stuff like that, and like if you look at some of my older sketchbooks, you can see like I was just trying to be Robert Crumb. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you can never fucking be Robert Crumb. It's like saying you want to be like Frank Frazetta. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain people, you just look at their stuff, you're like, that's Frazetta, or that's Robert Crumb. You know what I mean? Or like that's fucking insert whatever artist you want. Jack Kirby. Like Jack Kirby's pretty much unmistakable. You know, no one's been ever able to duplicate that type of shit as like, you know, as stream of consciously as he probably was doing it. It was just coming out of his fucking head, all this weirdness and craziness. But ZAP Comics was brought to my attention probably right around that time. If it's not mentioned in the Robert Crumb handbook, this cover is probably more than likely shown in there. But I seen it in later travels. You know, internet, of course, was becoming a big thing, and was able to go on there and just print pictures off. I think my grade 6 speech, because here in Canada, I don't know if they do it in the States, but in Canada, you got to do a speech every fucking year. And I did one on Robert Crumb. Well, it wasn't so much just on Robert Crumb, it was on cartooning. Because it, like, to me, it was like about being a cartoonist. And then I kind of lost that, and I sort of owe it back to cartoonist kayfabe to, like, you know, really, you know, because when I was, like, you know, painting these acrylics and different shit like that, I never classified myself as a cartoonist, but I didn't want to classify myself as an artist because I don't even know why, but you know, that's besides the point. But those cartoonist kayfabe fuckers really kind of like made me go, yeah, cartooning, like that's what I'm trying to do. Like Robert Crumb, like it was like a flashback because I drew for years, and then there was like kind of maybe a between 5 to 10 year lull in it. Like sporadically I would draw throughout there, but COVID came along, boom, everything that's painted in here, probably like 90% of the stuff, the drawings and all that shit, it's all stuff that was done during COVID. You know what I mean? And it really brought me back into it. And like the reason this is so important to me is because I'm finally at the point with my drawing that I'm very like comfortable, you know what I mean? Or not, maybe not comfortable, but I'm satisfied with it. Like for years, like, you know, I would draw something and it was like almost the way I wanted it. You know what I mean? It was almost like, for me, like finished, but I could never really quite get that fine-tuned polish on it. And reading, you know, going back into the archives of my comic collection and just flipping through some of these books and just being reminded of the possibilities that are out there that can come out of your fucking head. So that's why like collecting comics to me, and like books, art books and shit like that, it's important because you can draw inspiration from this stuff. You know, a lot of people use comics as a form of investment, you know, or like, you know, they just want to collect it for collecting's sake, like a baseball card collector. Some people are reading them and collecting them, and all three. Some people are, you know, selling, buying, keeping, collecting, whatever. But I've always used comics as a fucking source of inspiration, and I even did that Cinema 187. I got it right here. For fuck's sakes, I don't want this. I got a wireless, or not wireless, a fucking wired mic, and I don't want to, you know, lose my mind. But, you know, I did my homage to ZAP Comics with issue 2 of Cinema 187. This was one of my favorite pieces. I've got the original color piece right there, and the original pencils or like the inks are in a sketchbook of mine. But, you know, it's more than just like a milestone or like Holy Grail pickup fucking moment. It's kind of like a you know, reminder of the possibilities and like the you know, just everything that comes from that time when I was a kid and I was flipping through the pages of that Robert Crumb handbook, you know, and learning, and then it probably wasn't, I want to say I was probably 15 or 16 when I first seen Comic Book Confidential, and that like blew my brain off, you know what I'm saying, or like blew my fucking head off. And there was just all these cool artists, because I could never fully connect with the modern day comic, like at any time when I was collecting. Like there was miniseries that I really liked, you know, in different miniseries that I would pick up in collected formats. Well, not collected, but collected in the sense of all the issues are together, put in a set. Every comic shop does that stuff. But, you know, finding a lot of fun stuff through Vertigo, finding a lot of fun stuff through, like Dark Horse especially. I found a lot of really cool stuff through Dark Horse. And then the IDW was probably like, IDW was the company I was collecting for when I was actively collecting, and there was some limited image stuff, and, you know, like there was these books like Chin Music where like 2 issues would come out, and there was books like you know, the Ghostface Killer book, the Django book, a lot of adaptation type stuff, but like really fun, just cool shit. And then you contrast that to like what was coming out on like the bigger 2 side, like the Marvel DC shit. It was just like everything looked the same to me. I could not get behind. I did not give a fuck. I remember when the New 52 came around, I got the Batman one and a couple of other issue ones, sold that shit years ago. But it was just like, Greg Capullo was doing amazing art on that Batman book, but it just wasn't for me, you know, was not for me. And same with the Marvel, like I didn't even touch any Marvel shit, man. Like the only Marvel stuff that like fascinates me now is pretty much Daredevil's the only character, you know what I mean? I love the, like, Born Again, fantastic. What was that other one? Man Without Fear, Daredevil Yellow, which was done by Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb. That's pretty much it. I don't own any other Marvel stuff. Other than that, really, I got some like older shit from the 70s, obviously, Tomb of Dracula and fucking that type of stuff. Master of Kung Fu. I got like a nearly complete run of Master of Kung Fu from his first appearance to the last issue, which was either 125-ish or 150-ish. I don't remember the exact numbers, but you know. But like, anyways, I'm kind of like dancing around the fucking point here. I need to take a toke. That's the fucking problem. I'm sitting here and I'm like trying to do like this thing where I take like these breaks from, you know, sitting there and like looking at my phone, because often I find myself coming home after work and I just like, oh, I'm gonna like watch a movie, and then that ends up getting scrapped, and I end up just fucking like kind of just putting on a random YouTube video or YouTube podcast, whatever you want to call it, and just scroll away on the phone. And I'm like, fuck, I need to utilize this time to like draw more, because I've been slacking for the last like 2-3 weeks. Like I went up north, and that was pretty much the last time I did any kind of drawing. And now that I'm back, I just want to basically what I'm getting at is I'm starting a piece. Okay, it's based off this Robert Crumb piece right here. So what you're looking at is actually a revised image of this piece right here. And I've always been fascinated by this. I want to recreate it, okay? So what I've started is to recreate it. So that's why I've got my drawing table all out of whack, like with the fucking ambient light and all, and like my painting that I started like 2 months ago that I haven't even fucking touched in 2 months. It's got to look good for the camera, you know what I'm saying? But there it is. There's the very rough pencils. I just bit my tongue. The very rough pencils of this Robert Crumb inspired piece that I'm doing, tribute. And I'll be framing that and putting it up behind me probably when I'm doing the streams and stuff like that. And I'm going to try to do a few other just like kind of homage stuff, because I have a couple of original ideas that I want to crack out. But I want to do this Crumb piece like this. And I just did all that bullshit talking on Marvel, but I want to do a Marvel inspired piece again, because I did one for Filthy Ralph, the collected strips, but I want to do one like a bigger size thing with more detail, because that one, you know, I was dealing with 5.5 by 8.5 piece of paper, so you're limited to what you can do with that. But being able to bang out like a full, like, you know, the same size as this paper right here that you see, like you could see ZAP Comics beside it for comparison. Like it's pretty fucking big. Oh shit. Here's a lighter for comparison. You know what I mean? It's a big piece of paper. I think it's like, I don't know the exact dimensions right now off my head, but I'm having a good time with it. So tonight, going along with my, you know, trying to step away from the phone shit, I spent 2 hours on that drawing tonight, and then I was feeling real saucy. Rolled this fucking joint, smoked half of it, and then I read ZAP Comics #0 for the first time ever. It was phenomenal. Such a good experience. Like, I'll be completely honest, it's all Robert Crumb. Like when I think about ZAP Comics, because I only own a few, it was a complete like you know, mashup of a bunch of artists. It was a collaborative effort, and I didn't know that ZAP #1 was just Crumb, and it was fucking awesome to just, you know, flip through some of these strips I've never been able to read. The one called like Bearsy Wearsy, that was my favorite one in the strip, and I actually pulled a panel from that strip that I want to draw, and I'll show you it right now, just so in the future, like when I post it or whatever, I won't be a bullshit artist. I had to take a photo of it. There it is right there. Oh, this might be hard to do. Yeah, this is probably going to be a fucking nightmare to do. Oh, maybe not. You can kind of see it. It's like a guy getting a bottle thrown at his fucking head. I want to do that with Ralph. Like the same fucking panel, basically, but with Ralph. But like on a full-size piece, and like make it like as detailed as I can. Because I've been doing these like kind of quick sketches recently. Like I did one of Fred Vogel, who did August Underground, and he recently had like knee surgery, so I just drew that kind of on a whim, and as like a get well card to him. I sent that to him. He liked it and shit. So, you know, I guess I lied when I said I haven't really drawn in a couple of weeks. I've actually drawn a lot. I just haven't done anything that I consider like a complete drawing yet. Other than that zombie thing that I did, that was pretty fucking cool. That's pretty much done, like that version of that head. I got to redo a zombie page because newsflash, fucking October, I plan to release a Video Nasties zine. So Cinema 187 presents the Video Nasties art covering all 39 of the prosecuted films for Section 1. Stay tuned for that. Like I said, October. There's lots of cool artists involved. I'm editing. I'm contributing 2 pieces in the cover artwork. Radioactive Blobfield's involved. It's Soulful Inks, Cammy, Reader 1717's involved. Fucking Carl Dahmer's involved. Dunwich Collection, KGG Mind Trip, Art in the Brain. I'm trying to think of some other motherfuckers off the top of my head. Dan Parker Doodles, I believe, is down. Mitch's Toxic Art, who's you know, a fucking awesome artist. And like, it's crazy because that guy, shout out to Mitch's Toxic Art. I've actually got his All We Need Is Sleaze blood Herschel Gordon Lewis thing framed down there. But the Toxic fucking Waste Candy, he's trying to get like a collab, like he's trying to like collab with him. I think that would be so sick because like I've always loved the Toxic Waste, not the candy's fucking shit, but like the container it's in, like the little fucking barrel. I got one up there, man. I'd like to get a few of those and put like I don't know, fuck, I've only got 2 action figures. I got Predator and I got Caesar from Planet of the Apes. I'll put them near it with a fucking little bong. You know, that's another thing that's kind of a big deal, is these miniature shit. Like, people fucking 3D print like a whole goddamn record store for like action figure size and like do these photo shoots. It's insane. It's fucking insane. I'd love to have like a corner shelf, you know, that fits in the corner, and just have like a little fucking display of like a I don't know, maybe like have three, like have one that's like inside of a video store, have one that's like at a fucking train yard, buddy's doing graffiti, and then have one, you know, down at the fucking woods fishing, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's cool shit, man. But anyways, I don't know what the fuck the title of this video is going to be. It was supposed to be talking about the, wherever it is, ZAP Comics number 0, but it turned into this, man. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. What can I tell you? We'll leave it with a fucking quote, okay? We'll leave it with a quote.
Black Sabbath, and just cranked. Like, I'm sure I've done damage to my ears, but fuck it, in the name of rock and roll, right?